human body is just amazing with all the organs in it. But despite all the stuff inside of us, there are interesting things that it just can't do. However, few people can do most of those things so easily. Let's look at the top 20 things most humans can't do. The paralyzed finger trick. Let's give this one a try. Bend your middle finger like on the screen and put your hand on the table. Lift your thumb, index finger, and pinky. No problem, right? Now, try the ring finger. Any luck? Nah. The trick is, the tendency in your fingers are independent to each other except the middle and the ring finger. They stand interconnected, so when your middle finger is holding down the ring finger, it can't move. It feels like it's paralyzed. Gleeking. This is a smart little trick courtesy of your salivary glands. It's basically spitting a jet of saliva from your submandibular glands upon compressing it with your tongue. It is the human equivalent of a camel spit, and only a few can do it. You may have accidentally done it when visiting a dentist or yawning. This is one of the fantastic body tricks most people can't do. Gleeking is basically an involuntary act, and only a lucky few can perform this saliva spit on command. Wiggling your little toe. While moving the big toe is reasonably straightforward, wiggling the small toe is a whole nother matter. You may manage to move it after considerable effort, but will notice that the toe next to it is moving too. This body trick is one simple thing most humans can't do. If you can independently wiggle your little toes from the rest of the toes, foot readers have some good news for you. They consider you charming, adventurous, and impulsive flirts. Those who can't are said to value loyalty, predictability, and routine. The chair experiment. You must try this to believe it. An exercise that most women can manage easily, while men can't do it. Let's go. Stand with your 2 feet against the wall. Take 2 steps back in a straight line. Put your feet together. Lean forward with your head touching the wall. Pick the chair up and try to stand up. While ladies often do this easily, it is staggeringly difficult for men. The chair challenge proves to be one of the simplest things most men cannot do. Lick your elbow. Most people can easily bend their arm or elbow, and most people can easily slip their tongue out, but most people can't do them together. Licking your elbow is one of the weirdest, funky things most people can't do. Though it sounds easy, that's not the case. Maybe you could try it now and ensure you're alone, so you don't look like a complete idiot. It is a rare ability that only a few people around the world can do, and they feel so special just because they can lick their elbows. Wiggling your ears. If you thought wiggling a body part only applies to toes, fingers, and maybe your there are a few other people who can wiggle their ears. Ear wiggling is one of the most amazing body tricks most people can't do. Although you can train yourself to wiggle your ear by simply isolating your ear wiggling muscle, to be honest, it's a lot harder than it seems. Just practice wiggling your ears without moving any other part of your face, and let us know how it goes. Touch your nose with your tongue. Is the tongue more skilled than any other body organ? After several tongue tricks and elbow licking, around 10% of the population can also touch their nose with their tongue. In medicine, this rare ability is called the Gorlin sign. The ability to do this was attributed to being a genetic trait, although there are few cases of people learning to touch their nose with their tongue. The reason why only a few people can do this is because of the extreme length of their tongue. Maybe you could check how long your tongue is today. Bend the joint backwards. Double-jointed, also known as hypermobility, this is when joints stretch out further than usual. Some hypermobile individuals can bend their knee joint backward, bend their thumb backward to the wrist, and even perform other contortionist tricks. If you thought this is the most painful thing a human can experience, we would like to inform you that double-jointedness is actually less painful than you think. Some double-jointed humans are able to do all the bending and twisting of some body parts that others are not able to do. Moving your foot clockwise. We must admit that this one is definitely a weird entry. Nowadays, people are more complex, and doing such a high multitasking activity like writing number 6 and moving your leg clockwise at the same time may prove to be futile. It sounds simple, but entirely tricky for your mind. This is perhaps one of the things 99.9% of humans can't do. It may take a while, but probably you can learn to do this after some practice. What a TED Talk! Put your whole fist in your mouth. When we think of things getting inside our mouth, we think of food and not our fist. Most people can barely get a half or a quarter of their fist into their mouth. You need a combination of a large mouth and small hands to entirely fit your fist into your mouth. With simple steps like making a fist, then inserting it into the mouth, this is one of the things most people can't do with their body. And for the few who can fit their entire fist into their mouth, they are members of a very small club. Touching your chin with your tongue. Another tongue thing. When someone lets their tongue out, it could be to tease someone, or maybe a game. But some special people can actually touch their chin with their tongue, like KISS member Gene Simmons, who was an expert in it. Like the previous trick, this ability also requires a lengthy tongue, and it's not particularly a useful skill, so it shouldn't be frustrating to those of us who can't lick our chin with our tongue. Raising one single eyebrow. Facial expressions. Oh, yes. In order to identify with someone they know, people tend to use different signs, like raising their fist, smiling, or raising their eyebrows. Although this sounds easy, some people can't raise one eyebrow by itself. Now, you may be thinking you can do it, and even try it out, and find out that you can't. Did you know that raising one eyebrow is also a symbol of skepticism? Well, you can learn to raise one brow by merely keeping the other one down by holding onto it, and keep practicing in the mirror. Open eye sneezing. Among the impossible things most humans can't do is sneezing with their eyes open. You may have noticed your eyes automatically shut whenever you sneeze. Well, that's not the case for everybody. Some people can keep their eyes open while sneezing, but thanks to the sneeze center in our brains that sends the signal for our eyelids to automatically close while sneezing to stop germs from entering your eyes. You can, of course, clamp your eyes wide open while sneezing. Be careful, though. Your eyes may pop out. Nose twitching. If you ever watched Bewitched, you must have tried to twitch your nose like Samantha without success. It's one of the amazing body tricks most people can't do, perhaps because it's not a universal talent. Like other body tricks on this list, you can learn how to do it, and you'll be at par with a cute rabbit and a witch. But don't get too good at it, otherwise you might always be asked to do it just like Elizabeth Montgomery, the actress who played Samantha. She was always asked by her fans to twitch her nose, but would always refuse after the show had ended. Eating a spoonful of cinnamon. Formerly known as the Cinnamon Challenge, this trick sounds simple, but can get pretty messy. Cinnamon is a spicy baking ingredient, but very impossible to be eaten by most people, mainly because it doesn't dissolve in water. When eating it, cinnamon can dry the mouth and throat, resulting in coughing, gagging, and even vomiting. Inhaling cinnamon can cause throat irritation, breathing difficulties, pneumonia, or collapsed lungs. Although it's dangerous, some people can successfully eat a whole spoonful of cinnamon. Tickling yourself. We all have ticklish parts where friends and loved ones love to zero in on. Their tickles make us laugh, scream, or even more. And if anything, for a healthy person, you'll give a kick if the other person is reachable. But tickling yourself to the point of laughter is among the things most humans can't do, and it's practically impossible. This is because you always brace for the touch, and your body doesn't react the same when someone else tickles you. However, few individuals have been reported to tickle themselves to laughter. Putting your foot behind your head. It requires extreme flexibility in order to put your feet behind your head. To some gymnasts, placing feet behind their heads may sound a bit easy, but it may be entirely impossible for ordinary people. Look at how these guys are doing things most people are unable to do. Even if you practice every single day, it's not a guarantee that you will be able to do this because it all depends on the body type. Tongue tricks. If you didn't know what else the tongue could do, look at these select few tricks. Splitting the tongue, rolling it, flipping it 180 degrees, and performing a reverse are all cool tricks. It's heavily debated whether these tricks are genetic or can be learned. If you thought these are things kids cannot do, studies have shown that some children can perform tongue tricks even when both parents couldn't. Don't despair if you can't perform this seemingly simple tongue trick, because 25% of the population also cannot do so. Milk squirting from your eyes. Well, this is actually the video of the day. How and why on earth would you take in milk either with your mouth or nose and let it squirt from your eyes? It seems like fun, but these are things most people can't do with their bodies. Some people do insanely dangerous things. We are yet to see if this particular talent or skill will get into the Guinness Book of World Records. Meanwhile, don't try it at home. Open a bottle with your feet. Is it for the love of the drink? Well, maybe. These guys have a rare ability to open any type of bottle with their feet and without a bottle opener. You will be amazed at how they go ahead and pick up the bottles with their feet without spilling the drink at all. Wow, who does that? If you only have a few drinks on the table, please don't try to do this because these are things most people can't do with their bodies. Which of these weird, funky things can you do? Do you have any friends who can do any of these? Let us know in our comments box below.